was a time when I wanted to die. I was just constantly thinking of dying. I'll be coming home from the office late at night, and while on the bus on Third Mainland Bridge, the water there underneath the bridge would just be calling out to me to just jump in and end all my struggles because everything was just too much. How do you know when God is speaking to you? Can you hear Him? All my life, I've never been a Jinjin Christian. In fact, I hated those SU students that acted holier than thou and just over showcased their faith. Based on personal experience with those characters, those people that post Bible quotes all the time. But that doesn't mean that I never loved God or I didn't love Him enough to showcase Him in my own way. I've always loved God. In fact, there have been episodes when I felt especially loved by God. For example, growing up in Nigeria with our numerous power issues, there will be times when I need to do something with light urgently. Probably I want to iron my school uniform for school urgently, and there hasn't been light for a very long time. And I'll just whisper a little prayer, asking God to just do this one small thing for me. And lo and behold, there'll be light after my prayer. Or just something so mundane that you'll be like, oh, this one is too small to pray about. But I would pray about it and I would get answers. Another example would be when I was in school, in secondary school, I might be studying for an exam and sleep off. When I sleep off, I would dream, and in my dream, it would be as if we're taking the exam I'm preparing for. And I will see some of the questions. When I go for the exam, those questions in my dream will come out during the exam. Like that one wasn't even just about prayer, but like it just felt like, wow, if God loves me enough to be showing me these things, then why can't I serve Him in my own little way? So growing up, I was more of a believer than I am now as a grown up, especially because of my job hunting problems or struggles. When I graduated from uni, or before I graduated, I just had such high hopes that I would graduate and I would get a well-paying job and become financially independent, just like every other adult. But that didn't happen for me. Instead of getting a job, I had a very long depressive episode in my life due to my inability to get a job or be financially independent. And even when I did get a job, for the brief period I had a job, it was a very long struggle for me. I mean, there was a time when I wanted to die. I was just constantly thinking of dying. I'll be coming home from the office late at night, and while on the bus on Third Mainland Bridge, the water there underneath the bridge would just be calling out to me to just jump in and end all my struggles because everything was just too much. But that was because I was trying to carry all the struggles of adulting on my shoulders. And that didn't go very well for me. And even when I did quit that job and started a fashion business, in fact, when my fashion business was starting out, the starting up process itself was a miracle. I went to Yaba market to shop for fabrics, and the strangers there, some fabric sellers, offered their shop to me to use until I am able to rent my own shop and start out. They were even getting me customers. It was just nothing short of a miracle, and I saw God's hand in my life in that period. But did that make me draw closer to Him still? And now, even with my successes as a content creator, there have been moments when I've doubted the viability of my current career path. And in those moments of that, I'll just whisper a little prayer to God, and more or less, I always get a small nudge. Something just happens to give me a form of reassurance that yes, God is with me in this journey. So the question is, are you able to discern the voice of God or God speaking to you, even if it's through other people? There was a very recent episode when I started my YouTube, when I started uploading on YouTube formally. So I had posted 2 long form videos. My Instagram was not doing well. That was a period when my Instagram was just coming back to normal after the episode of getting viral over the one video that I posted. So things were kind of slow. I would post videos, they would not do so well. And I uploaded 2 videos, that's one by one, on YouTube, and nothing was happening. Just the likes and the views I had gotten were just from my family and friends. So I was kind of down and just doubting if this thing will actually work. I know YouTube takes time, but still, as we're humans, we have our moments of doubt. So I was doubting and I just prayed. I was like, God, just tell me that this thing will work out. Let me not be another thing that I'm trying out that would not work, and I'll just put in so much time and effort and it won't work out. So after my prayer, I just felt a small nudge to post a video that I had made. I didn't even want to post it because it was just an ordinary video. There was no Shazam effects, like there was nothing special about it. It's not those kind of videos that you expect to do well. So I felt a nudge. After I prayed, I felt a nudge to just post it. And I posted the video. And it did so well. As if that was not enough, I got my first comment on YouTube from a stranger. And guess the person's name? A Song of Hope. As if God was just telling me to have hope. Like, hope is a very beautiful thing. And if you're that person, a Song of Hope, whoever you are, I don't even know if you're a person, but if you're a person, whoever you are, just know that God used you to answer my prayer on the very day you commented. So in your walk with God, there will be times when He speaks very clearly to you, or maybe you won't be able to hear Him because of certain things, like what He's saying does not align with what you want in that moment or in that period of your life. And one thing, I used to be that person. I used to be that person that struggled so much for my own will to be done. I mean, it's easy to sing, "Thy will be done," but the doing is not as easy as the singing again. So I used to be that person. I used to struggle so much with trying to impose what I want. But these days, I've tended to more like just go with the flow. And when I'm faced with difficult situations or difficult things that I have to do, I just tend to leave it to God because He always does what's best for me. It's not always easy to accept, but like His version of His will for my life is always better than what I want for myself. I found this to be true based on personal experience. So in this life, I've really tried to do it on my own, but that stuff, it was really, really, really hard. So I just left it to God. If you're someone who has been struggling to just figure life out on your own, I think you should try God. Try God and see how that works for you. Because one of the Bible passages that I always find controversial is the one, 2 Corinthians verse 12, where it says, His strength is made perfect in our weakness. Why I found it so is that I always used to ask, why do we have to be weak for Him to be strong? I mean, He's strong. He doesn't need us to be weak before He's strong. That's because I did not understand. I did not understand until very recently, actually. Not just with every other thing that has been happening in your life, just life. Very recently, I went through something that was supposed to break me, but I was strong. If I was amazed by my strength, because I couldn't have done it as a human being on my own. It was God doing it for me. So now I understand why His strength is made perfect in our weakness. Because something that was meant to break me showed me that I have more than enough strength through God who strengthened me. So I'm rediscovering God for myself. And I said I'm rediscovering Him for myself because as someone who grew up in these old Pentecostal churches, I stopped going to church for a long time. I stopped going to church because it just going to church, and by church I mean these new churches, going to church just did not align with my spirit. There was just something about these new churches that did not align with my spirit. The church stopped being a place where I go to renew my spirit and learn more about God, draw closer to God. It became a place of just prosperity preaching charade. Like there was no substance to the preaching, so it did not renew my spirit going there. So I stopped going for a very long time. I think after university, I stopped going until very recently. We started going again in Accra. I found a place, and I really like the way they preach and the way they teach about God. They're not perfect, just like every human organization. They're not perfect, but they're doing very well, and I'm so grateful to have found them. And that has been very helpful because we used to attend Bible study, and it just helped to rebuild my faith. And another thing that has been very helpful was discovering a Christian women's WhatsApp group. So while in that group, I got to know about the Bible app, which has been very helpful in my prayer life. It has helped me reignite being more prayerful and just being more in tune with God. And even if you're like me and you don't have any prayer group or any emotional support group that you find, because I always, anytime I'm learning something new or embarking on a new journey that I know I can't do on my own, like my willpower can't push me to just continue steadfastly, I tend to look for accountability partners. Or if you're not able to find accountability partners, you can actually pray and ask God to help you. Let the Holy Spirit help you directly to just strengthen you anytime you fall short. And He will do it because He answers every prayer. No prayer is too small or too big for Him to handle. Yeah, I know this because I'm a living testimony of the power of God. And I hope to see you in my next video. So if you've watched to this part, thank you so much for getting to this part. As promised in my last video, I actually relaxed my hair. You can see I have a fresh relax. I relaxed it 2 days ago, and this is how my braid out turns out every time I relax my hair. I also cut it. This is not my length. If you watched my last video, I cut it. I did a little video to just show the process and my reason for cutting it. So you should go watch the video. And thank you for being here. If you're an OG, if you're a new person, thank you for continuing to this part, and I hope to see you again in my next video.